Alright guys, so we got little Dante here. This is a mini Rex. This is my wife's rabbit. He is over 10 years old. This is a guy we had to take to the veterinarian. It was very difficult finding one that would accept a rabbit. Thankfully, this should be a pop-up right here for you. This is one of our local veterinarians, and he did a great job. Dr. Paul, he did an awesome job with Dante here. So let's go ahead and discuss some of the things that he went through, and because I've had a lot of questions. People wanted to know what caused the infection and stuff like that, and what was it. All right, so with this, he does not like being high in the air, and he's on the table. We give him a snack. Here you go, buddy. Rabbits love these things. Right here, bud. So one of the first things I want to discuss is the injections. This is his medication. This is antibiotics. This is an injectable syringe, all right? 22 gauge needle. Yeah, I know, buddy. I'm not going to shoot you with it. You're fine. He does not like them. All right, so with that, guys, I had a lot of people say, hey, why don't you just give them antibiotics? This is a rabbit, guys. There you go. This is a rabbit, guys. They don't take medication like us. You can't be feeding your animals human medication, all right? So this is something that we've been talking about before. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. So as you can see, his face is a lot better. The mass that was in there, guys, don't you jump down, was an abscess, and the abscess was not like a normal abscess. I had a lot of people say you need a lancet, all this other stuff. These animals, these small animals, especially rabbits, can go in cardiac arrest from trauma, the slightest things. I've scared rabbits to death hunting them, okay? So with that being said, that's why I didn't start just cutting into my wife's pet, because you can kill them. All right, and then you have to have the appropriate medication to deal with the infection. I don't have syringeable antibiotics for rabbits. Do you? You can't just feed him a pill. It's a rabbit. Also, when he had his surgery, he had two options. One, to go under with gas, or they were going to attempt to jab the infected area and squeeze everything out. Well, like my concerns with it, and so was the doctors, if we did that, we only have one shot, and the chance of him making it through the trauma would have been 50-50. Now, with putting him under, they decided to go with gas. The reason being, using injectable anesthesia on this old of a rabbit is really difficult on their liver and kidneys to process. So, go with gas. Now, with going with gas, rabbits, if you're a rabbit owner, you know that they have very sensitive respiratory systems. That's why you don't spray Febreze and stuff like that in your house, because it can kill them. And he also had a 50-50 chance. If I'd have done this at the house, he would have had a 20-80% chance, because cutting his face open could have been so much trauma that it would have killed him. Also, inside his jaw, we're trying to figure out what caused the abscess. There should be a photo here of a rabbit's skull jawline. The x-rays revealed something protruding on his left lower side of his jaw. At first we thought maybe something had got its way in there. Doctor's looking at it, he's doing some research right now, because the fact is rabbits have a lot of bones in their face and jaw. Running theory currently is that it is a tooth root actually jutting through his bone on his lower jaw. But we don't know yet. We're getting rid of the infection first, and we got to do some more tests and stuff like that to see what's going on. If the infection comes back, we're going to get some blood work done to check that out, to make sure we're tackling what needs to be tackled. So with this, that's the running theory on what caused this abscess in his jaw. He eats fine. He has no pain in the area. So me personally, I don't think it's a root of a tooth, because he eats nonstop. That's his favorite pastime. If he had issues, me rubbing his chin and stuff, especially in that area, he would be wincing in pain and stuff, and he doesn't. So I'm not sure what it is. It could be a bone spur, which I've seen grow on, you know, calcium deposit, thing like that. It could be something like that, but we're going to do some more testing. Now I want to discuss this medication with you. Like I said, it's a 22 gauge needle. It is a doozy. It's a freaking harpoon. But the hide of a rabbit and all outdoor animals are thick. You have to really get in there. So when you actually inject these things, guys, you want to make sure you get all the air out of these things, even though it's not going in a blood vein or a vessel. It's still going underneath the skin. All right. So you just use your plunger a little bit, squirt it out. When you inject this, you want to take your time. See how slow I'm dripping this out during the injection. Now, this syringe is filled with water, by the way, guys, just for the demonstration purpose. You do not want to do this into your animal. You do not want to slam that plunger. You want to take the time and slowly get it in there. Now, options on sites on where you're going to actually be injecting this antibiotic. You need to pull his fur up. I injected that side earlier, so it's a little tight. You want to pull on the loose flaps of their fur. It's all right, buddy. Get squared. There you go. And then when you actually inject it, you want to punch through one layer of skin, not both. And that's where your injection site. Now, with these injections, guys, you want to bounce around on the body. His injections are every 12 hours. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, I'm going back to the doctors. I've got to get more medication for him. It's not cheap, but when they're your pets, they're part of your family. And this is my wife's pet. She rescued rabbits. Dante here is a Easter dump. That is people that get Easter bunnies for their kids and stuff like that, and then they realize how difficult it is to raise and house and treat what they call fancy rabbits. It's a breed. They're fancy rabbits, house rabbits. Unfortunately, they dump them off in the woods. Well, that's a death sentence for these type of rabbits. They are not wild rabbits. They have a very small percentage of original genetic markers of a wild rabbit. And he's calmed down now. He's nervous. I can actually hear his teeth chattering. I'll get you down on the ground in a second, buddy. So, Dante was actually found in a park. He was being strangled by a constrictor snake. And the lady that rescued him contacted my wife, so that she had another rabbit, and she went all the way out there and picked him up. And she's been with my wife for 10 years now. So yeah, well, he loves his face rubbed. So this is the side that was actually injured, guys. He's doing really well. He's eating very well, running around, doing his normal stuff. So he's doing great. I'm keeping an eye on the site. If it starts getting poofy out again, I'm supposed to hot compress it and squeeze it out as much as possible. The the abscess that was in there was not your typical abscess. Usually when I deal with abscess, it's green, brownish, liquidy material. But when I felt around in this thing, it felt like a mass, almost like a tumor. Turns out the stuff that came out was white, very putrid smelling, and almost a paste. So, very weird. I've never seen that particular one. Spoke to the doctor about it. It was one of the first ones he's ever seen like that as well. Usually it's the green and brown, real watery. But they got him fixed up. He is doing much better. He's calmed down now. You want your snack now? No, he does not. This rabbit does not like being off the ground. I guess if God wanted him off the ground, he gave him wings, right? So anyway, guys, just to let you have an update on Dante here. Please do not believe 97% of the stuff you see in comment sections and on YouTube. People were just commenting away, well, you need to lance that off. How dare you let that animal suffer? All right, when Dante had his issue, it was a small knot underneath his chin. We watched it, but we started contacting and reaching out to our local vets. Unfortunately, we ran into a lot of issues because all this stuff happened right after Christmas. A lot of people have taken off. And then when it got really bad, we did find somebody that would see him. So it was able to get took care of. But just cutting on your small animals is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. These little guys can have heart attacks like that. They have their heart is constantly beating 1,000,000 miles an hour. Not that fast, but pretty close. They got small hearts. They can die from trauma. Injecting your rabbits with homemade antibiotic solutions, I do not recommend it. Go get the right medication. Is it expensive? Yes, but at least you're taking care of your rabbits. You do not feed your rabbits human medication. You do not do that. All right. Anyway, guys, just wanted to speak to y'all on this, and I'm going to get Dante down because he does not like being up in the air. You want to say goodbye, Dante? No, he just wants to be put down on the ground. All right, guys, speak to y'all later.